What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 15 with action figures of the Turbo Red Ranger, Lightspeed Rescue Blue Ranger, and RPM Yellow Ranger. So this is a pretty cool wave, starting pretty much all new teams with these. I love getting, of course, Turbo Red, so it finally gives us our last Tommy Ranger. Of course, this is supposed to be the TJ version, but it'll still work as Tommy. And then start in Lightspeed Rescue, which when I watch back through the seasons of Power Rangers, I enjoyed Lightspeed a lot, so cool to get him. And then, of course, RPM Yellow. Everyone loves RPM, so getting the Yellow Ranger to start off RPM is really cool as well. Now, unfortunately, as we know, the Lightning Collection seems to be going on a hiatus, so this could be the last wave of Rangers we get, which I'm excited to get these Rangers. I just want all these teams now, so that will be unfortunate if they don't continue on, but I'm excited to at least have these 3 Rangers to add to the collection, so that's all I really care about. So let me go and get these open, and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with the Red Turbo Ranger, who originally was Tommy Oliver, but when Tommy was captured by Divatox, TJ freed him, and because of his confidence, determination, and bravery, Tommy picked TJ to become the second Turbo Red Ranger. So that's what we have here today is the TJ version, but for me, I more care about it being Tommy, so we're going to add him in with the rest of our Tommy Rangers, and overall it looks pretty cool. You know, it is the first of our Turbo, actual Rangers, but he looks pretty cool with the Turbo helmet design. So we have the black visor with, I loved all the silver outline. That's supposed to be like a vehicle with the headlights up on top, which is pretty cool. Love the black there, and then the little details on the sides, like where the ears are. I just always love the Turbo helmet just because I think they're funny looking. Then in the all red spandex, and I like how he's got the logo on the side, the Turbo logo, and it's kind of like a C design because I think it's supposed to Car Ranger or something in the Sentai. And then we have a sign with 1, so he's number 1 on the team there. But I love the yellow around the neck and the little yellow section there with the red everywhere else with the black lines. I think it's cool. White bands around the arms and white gloves and boots there with the black stripes around, which is cool. White belt around the waist, and again, love the little headlights there on the buckle. And then we do have a holster here on the side to be able to hold his gun. So pretty cool design overall. I think it looks pretty nice for him. But we can do the movements, so the head will twist all the way around, and then it can look down that far and up that far. So not very good movements in the head. We get the shoulders that come up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth. A really good range with that one, and can twist around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far, so not too bad. Twist at the wrist and can flex back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so we crunch back and forth and can twist around. And then we have the cutout crunch closer to the waist there and crunch back and forth. So really good back and really good forward there. Now it just causes issues though trying to get the line back up. But then we go to the hips that can come up to 90 and then out to the side. We get a thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back. We get a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent movements for him. Now, like I said, there's issues, trying to get all the lines to line up. So that's the thing, putting lines on a figure, and you want him, to look nice. So it causes a little bit of issues. And then I do have some issues getting him to stand. That seems to be something weird with this foot over here. No matter what I do, I'm trying to mess around with it, and I just can't get it to look like it's standing up properly. It's always got the leg out to the side or something weird. So not sure what's going on with that leg, and I can't get it to look proper, but I just have to fiddle around with it. But he comes with a number of accessories. So first we get the head of it. So we have the unhelmeted head. So we get the head there of TJ, played by Sulin Ward. I don't know if it really looks like him or anything, but that's usual with the Power Ranger heads. I don't like them. So now with the Rangers, they put these on automatically since they were in the plastic-free packaging. They always have the unhelmeted heads, but I always switch them out because obviously I want the helmeted head. But just so you can see what it looks like I said, not very good to me. But this will now be our second version of TJ since we got him with the blue in space. So as usual, I don't think it looks too good. Then we also get some additional hands. So we get the opposite of what we got. So we get a fist hand and a hand with a trigger finger for the opposite of what we got already. And then we start to get the weapon. So first we have the auto blaster. So his gun there that kind of looks like a car. So we have, the tires, the canopy, and fin on the back and the front of the car and stuff. So that's pretty fun. So with this, obviously we can take and put it into the holster there. So it just slides in the holster there on his right. But we can also take and put it into his hand. And since he has the trigger finger already, we'll go and move it into there. So there he's got the gun. And the gun is really soft and rubbery, especially the handle. So it's kind of difficult to get it into the hand just because, it's hard to get the flex around with the stiff hand. But overall, I think that looks pretty good there. Of course, it'd make more sense to be in the right since that's where the holster is. But then we get their other weapons of the Turbo Blade. So this is a blade that I think all the Rangers have. So it looks pretty cool. We have the same logo there in the center in the gold. Nice red handle and the silver. So it looks like part of an engine. I don't know cars too well to know what this is, but of course I recognize these on cars there at the side. And then of course the blade and stuff. So that looks pretty cool. So let's switch out his hand and put this in it. So So there he's got that sword in his hand, so I think that looks pretty cool. And then finally we also get the Turbo Lightning sword, so kind of like his specialty sword, so it still has the logo there with a nice guard over the hand. Now this feels really cheap, the plastic's pretty thin, and like I said, it just feels cheap overall, but a nice silver blade there as well. So we'll switch the gun out and put this in that hand. So there he's got the sword there, so that looks pretty cool again with his specialty sword, and as I said, it covers his hand like a guard, so that is pretty cool. And for that we also get our Hasbro effect of a lightning effect, so obviously we can stick on either one of the swords, but I think it shows it going onto this sword. So there's the lightning on that sword there. So again, I don't like the Hasbro effects, but it does just come with it, so you have that option if you want it. But now that we have the red Turbo Ranger, we can add it in with the rest of our Tommy figures. And there we have all 6 versions of Tommy, and of course this perfectly lines up where I just got his Master Morpher that has the power coins for all of these versions of him, so it just works out perfectly that we now have Tommy completed in all the different versions he appeared as in the Power Ranger series. So very cool to now add the Turbo Red Ranger in with this collection. And next up we have the Lightspeed Rescue Blue Ranger, who is Chad Lee, and he was known for his aquatic skills as a scuba diver and water rescue, along with being an exceptional martial artist. So he looks pretty cool here. Now when watching through the series, like I've watched through most of the series of Power Rangers, and as a kid I never really cared for Lightspeed Rescue. It was a season I barely ever watched, but watching through the show I actually really enjoyed it a lot and liked their costumes, even though how weird they are. Now they all have part of like emergency stuff, so like firefighter, police officer, all that sort of stuff, so they sort of have like a badge design on their helmets. So like his with the being mostly all blue but has the white stripes, so of course they always have like these white lines that like extend out of the center of their chest, and then he has like almost like the crosshair design, or sort of cross design there on his helmet. So I just think that's pretty cool design, and overall I really like this Ranger. Like it's a really nice like shiny blue, and the white shiny and stuff, it just seems like a little bit different than most of the other Rangers. But love the add in of the gold, so we got the belt around the waist with the Lightspeed Rescue logo there on the buckle, holster there on the right, and then the gold bands around the top of the gloves with the Lightspeed Rescue, so that's pretty cool, and same down on the boots there. So I just think it looks pretty cool overall, just the colors of the blue and white outfit with the gold bands on it, just think it looks really cool overall. But for the movements, the head will twist all the way around. You can look down that far, right up that far, so again, very little movements in the helmet there. The shoulders do come up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth, and can rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that'll bend up that far, which isn't bad. Wrist twist around and flex back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so we get the upper ab crunch back and forth and barely twisting, so just a little side to side. But then we get the ab crunch, so it can crunch back and forth. Now with this twist, I don't know if it's just stuck or something, but yeah, I can't get it to twist beyond that. It seems like it's just hitting the plastic, so like something's out of shape. And then with the white plastic, you do have to worry about some of the paint like sort of scraping off there, so just got to be careful with that. But then we get the hips that can come up to 90 and then out to the side, which the hips seem to be fighting me a little, but it does pretty much come out, so it can do the splits there and then the drop down hips as well, so you got to get them pushed back up in there. Then we get a thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, a shin twist at the top of the boot, and this foot feels real stiff but can flex back and forth. Yeah, real stiff like I said, and then twist side to side. So pretty much the exact same movement. So that's the thing with the Rangers, we don't really get too much variation. The only real variation is between the males and females, but it works out just the same. I do feel this overall is a little bit better. I don't have as many issues with this one as I did compared to TJ, but it's still not perfect. Some it's still wanting to fall over and stuff, but that's the thing with the Rangers. Sometimes their joints are too stiff or too loose, so too stiff to like get into certain poses, or too loose to hold those poses and they fall easily. You just have to work around whatever issues the Ranger has to get it to stand and pose how you want it. But accessory wise, we get the unmasked head. So there's the unmasked head of Chad, which is played by Michael Chatterabont. And once again, I don't think it looks pretty much anything like him, but they did what they could, I guess. And overall, I like the hair design and stuff, but yeah, just not a good face design overall. We get some additional hands, so he's got 2 fists on already, so we get hands pretty much with trigger fingers there, so if we want those. And with that, we do get their weapons. So first we have the rescue blaster, and then we get the 2 versions of it, but looks pretty nice there. So he's number 2 on the team, as you can see, it shows there and has the logo. So just an all red gun, looks kind of cheap. I love how they do have the holes on the end of it, so the turbo one had it as well, so if you had the effects you could stick them on there as well. So of course we can stick this into the holster there. Seems a little bit tight fit with the opening of the blaster there, and there you can see the Lightspeed Rescue logo on the end of it, so it just fits inside there. But let's go and try and put this into his hand, so I'll have to switch it out. So there Chad has the gun. I don't think it looks so good, like the gun just looks way too cheap for what it is, so don't like that too much. But then we also get in the baton mode, so we have have this as well, so it's more of a, you know, stick he can fight with. So let's maybe switch this out. So there he's got the baton there now, so I think that works out pretty good. Hopefully I have it in his hand correctly because it still has the trigger there. You can fit his finger in, so that I think is pretty decent. Like I said, not perfect because I don't think the weapon looks that good overall, but for it we also get the Hasbro effect, so we get this like greenish color lightning effect that we can just obviously take and slide onto the end of it. So there it just has that effect. Like I said, I don't like the Hasbro effects either, so these plastic effects and the faces I could just do without. Overall, I still think he looks pretty cool. Like I said, I'm disappointed that now the line is sort of ending at least for a while, because I want to get the whole Lightspeed rescue team, so it'd be cool to have it. So now just having the tease of him here with the Blue Ranger really stinks, but hopefully Hasbro will come back and continue on with the teams, because I really want the rest of this team. But I think he looks pretty cool overall. This is definitely my favorite of this wave, just because I feel there's too many issues with the Turbo Red Ranger, so this is definitely my favorite. And finally, we have the RPM Yellow Ranger, who is Summer Lansdowne, and she was formerly a rich and spoiled kid that cared about only herself, but when her butler Andrews died protecting her, she changed to wanting to help others, first being a downed pilot Scott Truman, which was the Red Ranger, and this led to her being recruited by Dr. K to become the Yellow Ranger of RPM. So she looked pretty cool here, love all the yellow, but then I like how she's got the bear crawler design, which is her Zord, so it's got a bear design, so you can see up on her head, it kind of looks bearish, I guess you'd say. Yeah, it's got like the barrier designs. I assume supposed to be eyes there with the lights and stuff, and maybe a nose on the front. And then for the RPM has the tires there on the side and then a nice round window, which is cool. And then I love how they always have like the seat belts or whatever here in silver that come down and buckle into their belts there. I think that's pretty cool. It's a black belt, of course, the RPM logo on there. Nice tire like tread designs on the top of the wrist and on the boots there, so that's pretty interesting. And then has the 3, so she's number 3 on the team with sort of the bear design you can see with the nose, the eyes, and the little bit of ear there on the back of it. So she has engine cell 3 for the bear crawler design. Looks pretty cool, and even like some lane designs there on the shoulders, which is kind of fun. So just pretty interesting, throwing all the car motifs and stuff. And I like how she has a little hanger there for her gun instead of a holster, and a little pocket there, probably the morpher on the side. So overall, I think she's pretty interesting design wise. But we'll do the movements, so the head can twist all the way around, can look down that far and up that far. So a little bit better movements than the other 2 Rangers so far. The shoulders do come up. Now they're a little bit stiff on this one, and since the thinness of the joints for the females, it's hard to really get it to move without possibly breaking the arm, but can get close to 90 there, and has the butterfly back and forth, and then of course rotates around as well. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far, so pretty good. Wrist will twist around. Now this one has a hinge up and down hand. Then we go to the ab crunch, so we can crunch back and forth, which is very little crunching, just a little bit, and then can twist mostly all the way around. And then we get the crunch closer to the waist, so crunch forward and back there as well. Then the hips will come up. Now she has the skirting, so not going to be the easiest, but can come up that far with me pushing as hard as I can, and then out to the side. She can pretty much do the splits. We get a thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent movements, fits for all the other females, so nothing new. So like I said, the only real difference we get is the male and the female bodies. So she's the same as all the other females, but it works out pretty good for what she's got. Now accessory wise, she comes with the unmasked head of Rose McIver, which looks pretty decent. Again, don't think it looks like her, but pretty decent face overall. Love the hair design. That's one thing Hasbro always does a nice job with hair design, and love the like yellow wash over the top of it, so it makes it stand out a little bit. But once again, not a head I like too much. And then we also get some extra hands, so we just have these more open hands, so the same hands for each side there. And then we get the weapon, so we get the Nitro Blaster, so just her gun. So like I said, it has the little hook here on the side, so you can just take the gun and sort of hook it in here, so it'll hang on the side of her. I don't really know exactly how it goes in, but I'm getting it to hook on like that. But we'll go and just put this into her hand. So there she has the Nitro Blaster in her hand there, and I think that looks decent. And as similar we've seen already, we also get in the Nitro Sword, but it almost just looks like a baton here, so the same weapon just with an extended out piece here, so that looks pretty cool as well. So we'll switch that out, and there she has the Nitro Sword, and as usual it comes with an effect, but this time we just have the little ball effect that has a hole in it somewhere that you can take and stick on the end of this. Now there is an issue with this, so we have a hole, so I don't know if you could see it, probably because of all the red, but it's right there. It's just a little square design. Now the issue is that the end of the sword is bigger than that hole, so trying to get it to fit on is really difficult. I pretty much can't do it. You'd probably have to heat this up to be able to get it to slide on there, so it's kind of pointless. So I feel they should have switched out some of the effects, maybe even this with the Red Ranger and give the Red Rangers one to her because it would slide on there much easier. But anyway, so there she has the Nitro sword to go along with her. So I think she looks pretty cool. I wish more of the Rangers would come with their own specialty weapons if they had it, so she would have had hers. But with Rangers like these, they just kind of give them their more generic weapons. So I'm fine with that as long as they're all uniform for the team so they all match. But pretty cool overall to have RPM Yellow again starting another cool team of RPM. But with just getting this one, who knows if we'll get any of the others. But hopefully we will when Hasbro comes back. But very cool to at least start off the team. Well, that's it for our Wave 15 of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Like I said, I enjoyed a lot of these Rangers, especially starting all new teams, all teams I'm excited to have. So we get the Turbo Red Ranger, Lightspeed Rescue Blue Ranger, and RPM Yellow Ranger. Like I said, all three teams that I'm excited to get, and we're just starting out with them before Hasbro goes on their hiatus of the Lightning Collection. So hopefully they'll come back and finish off these teams because having these makes me really want the rest of the teams. But let me know what you thought of these three Rangers down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.